Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got JC from Wrong to Strong. What's up, man?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Doing great. How have you been?
Working. This is a late day for me today.
Yeah, man, a lot of things going on. You know, I'm always on the go too, always making content and doing different things. And I see you pushing on social media. I see you all over the place, man.
I just, I guess being disciplined has helped me a lot. So I get up every day and I just have a little thing that I follow. Even my posts are done, just at the same time every day, and I just follow my discipline, man, every day.
Oh, so you're on like routine.
Straight routine every day.
Yeah. So you have a checkered past, like a lot of people on YouTube, as I do myself. And we were talking earlier about changing your life and some of the struggles you have to go through. And I want to ask you, what was it like for you, the turning point in your life when things really started to change?
I mean, when I came home and I started making, a decent amount of money on social media and training and stuff like that, I kind of thought that I had found the answer. I was like, yeah, I'm doing big things. I'm making money. But I was still empty inside. I still was carrying a lot of pain from my past, a lot of hurt, a lot of backstab, just a lot of stuff. You're from the streets too. So my life really didn't change until I got on my knees, man. And I just gave it all to God. And I was tired of trying to drive myself because I was getting into wrecks every 10 minutes. I was in a wreck. So my life changed when I got on my knees, man. My whole life changed from that day. It's November 8th of last year.
It's really crazy, isn't it? Like the way you feel inside and all that. You're always searching for something.
Well, I think that was like my thing. Like my whole life, I was always searching for love. I was always searching for, like, to fit in, to have a family. Um, and that day, what I felt in my heart, he filled all that day. And I got up and I felt like I had taken the best pre-workout I had ever taken in my life, and I've taken a lot of them.
In the past, man, I've been addicted to drugs and hopeless. I've been at that road, right? So in the past, what are some of the things you dealt with, like mentally, going through, feeling lost in life and going through, like, what are some of the struggles that the people out there can maybe relate to?
My trauma started at a very young age. I'm pretty sure you've heard my story. Me being molested and raped as a kid really created I guess you could say, I got high to forget. I got high to just kind of, I guess, go somewhere else. And the thing about that is that you start becoming so addicted to the drug that as soon as you come down, you need to go back up again so you don't remember. And you turn into a drug addict, and it starts to change your whole life. People know from the streets that once you turn into that alley, you lose friends, you lose relationships, you burn bridges. Really, all you're thinking about is you and how you're gonna get high.
Yeah.
So I was in a very dark time when I was an addict, but I thank God that I was a bigger addict when I was in prison, because it kept me almost, I guess you could say, on a chain where I couldn't go too far off. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. You were addicted to drugs in Mexico prison, right?
Yeah.
I watched it on Locked Up Abroad, man. That's crazy.
I got turned on to rock cocaine, and man, I had never felt anything like that before. I had just like smoked weed, tripped on acid, and smoke some PCP. I had not never really did hard drugs, I guess you could say. And when I took a hit from the crack, it really, I became addicted in that moment right there. And after that, there was no turning back, pretty
How
much.
was it presented to you? So you said you never tried it before that. That day it was presented to you. What was the situation like? Can you walk me through it?
Well, it was this big time this drug lord had got caught, and in my head I'm always doing something when I was a criminal, I was always doing something because of business or because I was gonna get something out of it. So he gets caught that day. It's too late for him to find a room to buy. So I tell him, stay in my cell. I was like, he's got money. I was like, stay in my cell. Tomorrow when it's the next day, we'll go look for your cell. So he's like, well, where can I go? He had a lot of money on him, so he's like, where can I get drugs? Where can I get this? So I take him to all the places, and I'm sitting down on my bed smoking weed, and he pulls out a spoon. He pulls out like this little water dropper and Newports and a can, all kinds of stuff. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm about to take a bazooka hit. And I was like, a bazooka hit? What is that? And he's like, you put, the Newport ashes on the can, and you put the rock on top, and you smoke it, and it's a big hit. And I was like, because I kind of looked up to the dude, so I was like, all right, well, let me try it, and I tried it, and I became addicted right there in that moment, man. I never put it down after that. It was bad.
Before you tried it, that moment, what were your thoughts of other people in the prison who were doing the same exact thing?
Well, I used to think they were garbage. I thought they were scumbags. Like, I really never thought that I was going to become a drug addict, because I thought drug addicts were like the lowest of the lowest, especially like where I grew up. Like, my gang had a lot of rules, a lot of like, you can't use drugs with needles, you can't use a pipe, you can't. There's a lot of rules in my organization that stops us from that. So I really didn't get to be that person in Chicago, because we were always selling. We were never the addicts. But once I became the addict, the whole game changed, and my whole life changed.
It reminds me of a situation, man. I got locked up one time, right? I'm in the holding cell in county jail on my way to go to the cell blocks, and this dude pulls out a big bag of crack, and they have pipes in there, and they're all stuffing the pipes, and they're passing it around, and they pass it to me, right? And I haven't ever done it. And they pass it to me, and I look over, and I used to be in a gang too, and there's a rival gang member in the cell that I grew up with. And I instantly, when they passed it over to me, I instantly looked at him, and I thought of what he would think if I grabbed that. And I was like thinking, like, I wanted to do it because I never did it before. They're all passing it around. And I was like looking at him like, if I do this, he's going to know, he's going to tell everybody. And I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But it reminds me so much of that. But down the line, I ended up doing the
Yeah.
same thing. And it's just a different type of animal, man.
It is. It
And it
is.
can hit anybody.
Anybody. It doesn't matter what color you are, where you come from. It really doesn't matter. It has no borders. It could be anybody, man. I've talking to people that have been successful people that just the monster takes over them, and that's it. They give up everything, their lives, everything.
I mean, a lot of people don't come back from that, man. And for you and me to be able to come back from that, it's a miracle in itself. So, do you want to explain what was it like? You're addicted to drugs, you're in a Mexican prison. Like, what's going on? Like, are you sentenced already? What's going through your head? Do you not even care what the future holds?
Honestly, man, I just thought that I was gonna die in the prison over there. I had a little bit of hope that the United States was gonna pick me up, but the way that I was living, I mean, I was going 100 miles an hour. I really didn't think I was gonna last long. I was putting my hands on people that I shouldn't have been touching. Big people. Uh, I was making a lot of mistakes because my I have to say my addiction and my pride was getting the best of me. And I mean, let's not forget that I was 17 years old. I was a kid, and I was already I was already damaged goods to begin with from my childhood. So it's like I was like a ticking time bomb, pretty much.
How did the USA know that you were in the Mexican prison? Did you reach out to the consulate or anything? Like, how was that
No,
known?
it's a law. The Mexican authorities have to tell the American consul if an American is in the prison. So as soon as I got there, the consul got a call.
Have you heard of the Phil Baroni case?
No, I haven't.
He's a professional UFC fighter, retired. He was down in Mexico, um, I think Cancun, and
Hmm.
he ended up having he had a local girl was his girlfriend. He ended up killing her in a hotel room. Um, they brought him to the prison, and there's reports that the guards ended up beating him up, busting his teeth out, and so my question to you is, since you have experience in a Mexican prison, what do you think is in store for an American who kills a local girl like that? Like what
There's gonna be it's a whole different monster over there. People in prison, there's a lot more violence. There's a lot more like just I guess for life. It's not care. And him being an American, and killing one of the local girls. I'm pretty sure she knew a lot of the local gang members. So it's not gonna be good. And I tell people over there in at Mexico, the cops love tough guys over there because they can whoop you. That there is no law that they're gonna protect you like over here in the United States. You know what I mean? So like, if you think you're tough, I'm pretty sure that guy thought he was tough because he was a UFC fighter. You get put in your place really quick. I mean, you've seen what they did to me when I try to be funny on the TV show. That's true. It happened. He hit me in the stomach for trying to make jokes about the drugs that I was transporting.
do you want to tell the people a quick story about that?
he was just he was just asking me like where was I taking 80 something pounds, and I just told him it was for personal use. That I was taking it home for me, and he didn't like that. He was trying to figure out who I was working for, so he hit me right in my stomach, right on the top of my stomach with the rifle, the bottom part of the rifle. Man, it's that doesn't feel good at all.
Yeah, like knock the wind right out of you, right?
Knocked the wind. I felt like I was gonna die. Honestly, I couldn't catch my breath.
Yeah, I've been hit in the side, man, and it dropped me, and I was like, oh, like
Yeah.
it was bad. So, how long are you in the Mexican prison for?
4 years.
And is there any situations that really stand out to you when you were there?
I mean, every day was crazy there, man. I mean, every day they were either lynching somebody or killing somebody or fighting. I mean, we would be watching a soccer game, and the drug lords would put together these soccer teams, and they would like buy them uniforms, shoes, feed them. They would make like a sport out of it because they had the money to spend, and they would have big soccer, championship game, and the teams would start fighting. They would pull out knives, start stabbing each other, and it was just complete like violence all the time. Drugs fueled it more, alcohol fueled it more, you know, and games like that fueled just it was always about a fight.
So it's really nothing like U.S. prison, right?
Nothing, nothing.
Like, are there women in there? Can you get women in there?
You get conjugal visits twice a week. Your family comes into the prison. It's not like here where you have to sit at a table and not be able to even touch hands. No, over there, your family's coming into your cell. They're eating with you. You're having sex with your wife or girlfriend.
Hmm.
It's just a whole different environment. Mexican authorities try to not. They try to keep the families together. They don't want you separating. You know,
Yeah.
they find it that it's better because when they get out, they usually don't come back.
Because I
So
heard a story. I interviewed a person who put a wig on. They were in a Mexican prison. They put a wig on and they escaped, man.
yeah, there's a lot of stories like that. I mean, one of the guys that I was with, he uh he escaped. He built a bed with a secret compartment, and he hid in there when the guards rolled the bed out. He escaped. You know, in Mexico, by law, you're able to escape, to try to escape. They can't add new charges. It's by law that every human has the right to be free. So you can try to escape if you want.
Did you ever try to escape down there?
Never.
Did you ever think about it?
No, I was too busy getting high. You know, I was
How
too
long
busy
into
getting
your
high. I
sentence
was
did
too
you start using
busy
drugs?
using drugs and drinking. You know, so never crossed my mind.
How far into your sentence did you start with the drugs?
I mean, I started drinking and partying as soon as I got there. You know, I would spend days. I mean, I ended up with alcohol poisoning twice over there because we would drink for weeks sometimes at a time. We would have, you know, the drug lords have a lot of money, bro. So like a kilo of cocaine passed around six guys was pretty much nothing, and we would have the guys in there playing music. We would be drinking liquor. You know, girls would
It's
be
just
in
like a
there.
party, right? It's just like
It was a party. You know, the hookers, and it was that's how you did time over there.
when that phone call comes for you to get transferred to the US. What was that like? What was that day like?
Oh man, I'll never forget that day, bro. I was happy that I was going home. Um, you know, I had already been through so much at this point in my life that like I just wanted to get home and get to like an American prison where I could go to school, and I knew that I was gonna have to do time, but I wanted to be able to do the time where I could better myself and not let the time do me, you know.
Yeah.
So it felt really good, man. I cried a lot when I got picked up and brought over because I felt safe when I got to the United States, man.
Did they call you like you're sitting in your cell? Did they just say,
No,
"Hey,
no,
pack your stuff"? Like,
I was just chilling. It was one day out of nowhere. They would just they screamed my name, and I came out and I was like, "What?" And they're like, "The American consul's here to get you." So I walked to the front, and the lady's like, "You know, we're transferring you." I was like, "All right." She's like, "Go get your stuff." I was like, "I don't have nothing. Let's go." I was like,
you weren't
and
worried. What about the drug? Like, what about
nah, I
you
just
weren't
wanted
worried
to.
about nothing?
I wanted to go home, man, and she told me she's like when we get to the airport, she's like we're not gonna cuff you. When you get to the airport, don't try to run. And I was like, lady, I just want to go home. Like I want to go home. And yeah, bro, I got on the plane and there was I could be wrong, but I can remember I think there was 42 Americans on the plane. And when I look back at every single one of them, they all look bad. You could tell that every single one of them had, you know, seen too much or done too much. You know, their eyes. You could tell when somebody's messed up mentally by their vision, man. How they look.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's a wild experience. Like a lot of people don't go through things like that. What are some of the situations have you seen with Americans, like white Americans who are locked up there? Have you seen them come in, and what kind of situations have they dealt with?
I mean, there was a guy there, Mike Hughes from Michigan. He actually stayed out there to do his time. He met a local girl, got married. I mean, he learned to speak Spanish so good. He had been out there for already 9 years. So I mean, I look at white dudes. I mean, white dudes do all the crazy stuff, man. They jump in with great whites. They want to go to the moon. It's like they fit in anywhere, bro. So it's like Mike had it down packed. He was selling stuff in the prison. He he was just doing his thing, man. He he loved it up there.
Have you seen other people have hard time?
Yeah, man. There's in Mexico they take pedophiles really serious, and every time one came in with a crime like that, it was like you could imagine a whole prison beating one guy up. So yeah, man, it would get
Would they
bad, man.
find
And
like
I've seen some crazy
devious
stuff.
ways, devious
Huh?
ways to
Yeah,
take care of them, right?
yeah, bro.
Yeah, like
I
I
mean,
know
I
exactly.
know the crime that he had done, and even what happened to me, but even that, I still felt bad because of how much was being done.
Yeah, I know. I know, man. I
Just like no respect for life at all, pretty much. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man.
Some people just they lack that. They lack the humanity aspect in other people, and they have no, their conscience isn't there. They can do things like that and not worry about it. But that's not the type of person I am, you know.
I was lost for a long time, man, and I was that person. I kept throwing dark stuff into my heart, and my heart started getting darker and darker and harder, just through everything that I had been through, everything I had seen. There's a lot of things that I seen in Mexico that I'll never be able to talk about. There's a lot of things that happened, um, even on before I went to prison. After I went to prison. It's just a game that I tell these kids, man, you don't want to get into. You don't want to get into, especially now that the rules have changed. Now that it's just those everybody wants the spotlight. Everybody wants to kill everybody. Everybody, there is no let's shine together no more like before. So it's a dog eat dog world, and the truth is that if you really really want to change, not be an addict, not be a gang member, not be a drug dealer, not be all these things, the change has to happen from your heart, and the only person that can do that is God. And man, that's why I'm so grateful for my wife. I mean, you got to see my whole change. I mean, we've been boys for a while now, and I think that's like the best blessing when my friends got to see how much he's done in my life, how much he's changed, just everything, bro. My life, my relationship, my work, just how I feel is you can't put money on it.
There's a huge difference, man. When I first seen you, you were like, you were really standoffish kind of with people. I could sense it. I was like, I could see it. Like, and then you can see, you really see it. Like physically, you can see the change.
Yeah, bro.
And it's great, man. It's really
I
great.
take it very serious, bro. Like that's why, that's why I would message you here and there to check up on you because I know the struggle is real, and I know even though we want to help, like we run into a lot of bumpers or walls because let's be honest, a lot of people they'll say, "Well, you made those mistakes. You deserve to be in prison. You deserve to have those felonies on your record. You deserve this," and really, all we need is one person to believe in us so we could like make that change, man. And I had my wife, I had my John, the pastor that disciples me. I had people that started praying for me and being there in my life that got to show me what love is and what like not checking out when there's problems. You know what I mean? Like, I owe a lot to my wife, man. My wife has been my rock, my anchor. She's taught me so much. God's used her in so many ways to help me change and understand Staxx because a lot of people didn't know how far gone I was, bro. How far, like, really, bro. Voices, paranoia. I mean, it was getting to the point, bro, where I didn't want to live no more.
And then you got other people that when you're projecting that negative energy, they like to bring you down with them because they project that negative energy. You know,
Yeah, yeah, bro.
a lot of
So
misery loves company, man.
ain't that the truth?
It really is. I don't want to skew the topic. Do you want to tell the people why you went down to Mexico in the first place?
Well, I was working for the cartel. I was transporting. I was making sure that the cars were getting in and out from Mexico and into Chicago. Pretty much, I started as a mule, but I kind of worked my way up to like a manager, I guess you could say, and I fell in love with the money. I fell in love with the power that it brought, and just the connections that I was making, and I don't know. It's just it grew into a monster in me.
Why don't you think that did you try to like pay the cops off when they caught you? Aren't they corrupt down there? Wouldn't they just
Yeah,
take your stuff
they're
and go?
corrupt, but the thing is that like I crossed over a checkpoint that I shouldn't have crossed over at the time. I shouldn't have crossed over because this was military, and military is very different compared to state police. So
Oh,
it's a whole different kind of, you know, it takes millions to bribe this side where it takes hundreds to bribe this side. You know what I mean? So it's a
yeah.
whole different ball game.
So what do you think? What do you think about the situations that's going down right now in Mexico with the cartels and El Chapo's son getting arrested and all the murders that are happening?
In my days, the cartels weren't fighting because everything was very organized. People were paying to just to work together. Everybody was making money, but that's because the cartels didn't have full control of the cocaine. Once the cartels became owners of the cocaine, not workers for the Colombians no more, it changed the game because now you're making billions of dollars instead of just millions. So it changes you. Money is the root of all evil, man. You start wanting to kill people, you start wanting to do stuff that you've never done before because it turns into money. It's very evil.
Yeah, and I heard they'll get people's whole families involved and
It's
they'll have
bad,
it
bro.
like branched out so you can't even get away from it. They'll just
You
grab
you
you.
you would never experience nothing like they do it over there. Once they hit you over there, like it's not good, man.
Yeah, man. So I see a lot of the stuff that you're doing. Do you want to tell the people what you got planned for the future and what you got going on?
Once I became a follower, I changed my YouTube channel to more, talking about what God's done in my life, self development, just helping guys. I even have a program where I'm teaching guys how to build their YouTube channels, how to build themselves as a brand. But my main thing is just self development, helping these guys, stay out of prison, bro. Find a different outlet to ways. I work out, I train people. Um, Really, man, just being of service, loving on these guys, man, because that was the number one thing that I didn't even know. I didn't even know what love was. I didn't even know what a friendship was. Like we could say we were boys all the time, but if I had to pick between you and the gun, I was gonna pick the gun. So you really weren't my boy. Now I
Yeah.
have genuine friends that I call when I'm having problems, when I call when I'm down, like genuine Christian men. And it's funny because all my friends are like 70 and 80 years old.
Yeah, but they're wise. They have all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
knowledge and
yeah.
the old values.
So man, I'm getting nothing but jewels, man. But I'm very disciplined, man, with everything I do. I get up at 2:45 every morning. I get up, I read my Bible, I study.
2:45. It's in like
Yeah.
3 hours, bro.
Today's a late night, man, for me because I did two podcasts before you.
Wow.
So and I went to work and I've been filming my new, videos for everything. I'm gonna start incorporating a lot of fitness stuff, a lot of self development, um, just healing, marriage stuff into my. I just want to help, bro. I want to help people live the life they're supposed to live, bro, and just be happy, man. Love. It's so important.
I hear you, man. Definitely. Well, I look forward to the future. There's a lot of good things to come, man. Go get some rest, bro. And I appreciate you.
Hey, man, thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Definitely, man. And you want to give anyone a shout out before we go, man?
Man, like I said, my wife's Bethany Savage, man, she's put up with everything and everyone. I love you, babe.
Definitely. And shout out to everyone out there. Go check out his channel. And things are only going to get better from here. Make
Yep.
sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Till next time. Peace.